Hi, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to our 30-minute class today. We're going to move into some hip openings. So we'll begin sitting nice and tall. Let's take the fingertips to the floor so you can just feel a little more grounding as you're sitting here. Be sure to lift the chest and close your eyes. And now bring your hands together in front of your heart and take a moment to set your intention. All intentions are welcome. You can send out wonderful energy to somebody. You can practice being present, practice really focusing on the breath, whatever you like. And we're going to come down onto our backs on blocks. So I always recommend you have a set of blocks and a strap handy and a wall if you can. Now the bottom block will go right in the middle of your back, right at the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. If you happen to be a lady, it's about where your bra strap goes across. And then the other block will go underneath your head. Then we'll take soles of feet together, knees apart. If that's not comfortable, you can extend the legs straight out or keep the knees bent with the feet onto the floor. If you want a bigger opening in the back, take the block that's underneath your head down a notch or even 2 notches. I know some people just move it completely out of the way. That's real intense. And then just allow that block that's in your upper back to soften that area. We will do some hip opening today. We're also going to be working on some back bends, and then we'll put those together. So as you're breathing here, or as you're laying here, we're going to focus a little bit on the breath. So it'll be an inhale for the count of 4, a pause at the top of the inhale, and then an exhale for the count of 4. And then at the bottom of your exhale, draw your belly in gently. Anytime you're ready. So inhaling for 4. Just quietly counting to yourself, hold. And then exhale for 4. Holding the breath out. And then inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, inhale, reach the arms up and over. As you exhale, bend your elbows and hold onto your opposite elbows or your opposite wrists. Continue that nice, long, steady breath here, just counting quietly in your mind. Inhaling for 4, hold, maybe for 2, exhale for 4. Draw the belly in, hold, and continue. So if this is too intense with the arms overhead, just bring your arms back down by your sides. Otherwise, reach the arms out once again. Exhale, put the other forearm on top, again holding opposite elbows or wrists. Allow the arms to hang down again, any amount. So it is a pretty intense stretch. So I do encourage you, if it's a bit much, to keep your arms by your sides. If it's a bit much to have the blocks here in your back this long, then move them out of the way. And now we'll release that. Pressing yourself up off of the blocks, just move them right out of the way. Have them handy, but just move them out of the way. And then rolling forward onto the hands and knees. Take the hips all the way back into the heels for child's pose. Extend the arms in front. Stretch out your spine. Knees can be a little bit wider than hips width. Let the belly go in between the knees, and then inhale up onto the knees. Tuck your toes all the way, stretching back to down dog. And then this one, go ahead and move any way you like. Bending one knee, bending the other knee, moving into the hips or shoulders, whatever feels nice. And now start to settle into your down dog, pressing the weight up toward the hips and then stretch it down toward the heels. Spread out your fingers wide. A little slip on my mat. Spread the fingers wide, press into the base of the fingers as your forearms lift. And then inhale, come forward into plank. Knees down if you like or not, it's up to you. Chest is forward. Exhale, hug the elbows in, lower to the floor. Bring your forearms onto the floor, elbows right under shoulders, tailbones reaching toward heels. Just gently pull the elbows toward the feet as your collarbones widen and your shoulder blades press toward the chest. Keep the belly lifted, pubic bones pressing down gently into the floor. Another breath here. This is Sphinx pose. Then come down, hands by the low ribs for a little cobra. Peeling the chest up, press all the toenails into the floor. Higher cobra if you like. If it bothers the back, then stay with low cobra. Then press yourself up and back into downward dog any way you like. You can keep the knees down to do it. Keep the belly drawing in and up. Inhale, right leg lifts from the inner thigh. And as you exhale, step it up by the right hand. Take the left knee to the floor. Pull the right hip back and then sinking forward, reach up through the arms. Keep the ribs and belly drawing in, tailbone lengthens down. Spin your triceps forward. And take an inhale, stretching up. Exhale, bend the elbows and then make a big circle all the way around. Inhale, reach up through the arms, face the palms toward the front. Exhale, bend the elbows, big circle around. Keep the ribs in. Inhale again, stretching tall. And exhale, bend the elbows, circling around. Inhale, stretch up once more. This time, bend the elbows and try and touch your palms towards your upper back as you spin your triceps forward. It's giving the shoulders and triceps a good stretch. That right knee over the ankle and release it. Tuck the back toes, come to plank and lower chaturanga. Interlace fingers, come all the way to the floor and come up into Shalabhasana. So back of the neck stays long, inner thighs are lifted. If you can't interlace fingers, you can always hook thumbs. And then release it down. Hands by the low ribs. Inhale, pressing into upward dog or cobra. Shoulders over wrists. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale and step it up by the left hand gently. Right knee down. Make sure left knee's over the ankle. And then inhale, pull the left hip back. So come out of the pose a little to pull the left hip back. Then sink forward and stretch up through the arms. Make sure the triceps are spinning forward. Keep the ribs and belly pulled in strongly. Back toes can be tucked under if you like or not. Reach up tall and then exhale, bend the elbows and sweep around in a circle. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, like you're scraping elbows on the back wall. Make a big circle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, make some resistance. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale. This time palms will touch each other, bending the elbows. So your thumbs are touching toward the back of the neck or the upper back. Pull the ribs in, tailbone's going to reach down. Then exhale, bring hands to the mat and step back to plank. And lower all the way down through chaturanga to the floor. Knees can always come down first. Interlace your fingers with the other pinky on top and inhale, lift up into Shalabhasana. As you lift, spin the inner thighs up. Keep the back of the neck long, draw the belly in. The tailbone is lengthening toward the heels. And then release, hands by the lower ribs. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Roll the shoulder heads back. Make sure shoulders are over wrists. And then exhale, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Stretching back here. Take a couple of breaths, draw the belly in and up. And then look forward, hips high, either step or float the feet up. Take an inhale to lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, fold forward, hips over heels. Press through the feet, rise up, inhale, stretching tall. And then exhale, hands to heart. Tadasana at the front of the mat. Make sure the legs are firm. Press evenly through the feet. Tailbone lengthens down. Belly's pulled in. Collarbones are wide. Inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Inhale, come halfway up, fingertips to floor or hands on legs. Exhale, step to plank. And chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Then inhale to press up, shoulders over wrists, thighs and knees up if you can. Exhale, downward facing dog all the way back. Arms are shoulders distance and the feet are hips width. And you're stretching your chest back toward the thighs. Breathing here, inhales and exhales equal in length. And then looking forward, step or hop your feet up. Take an inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, fold in. Pressing through the feet, inhale, stretching all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float into chaturanga, shoulders no lower than the elbows. Inhale, press through the hands and feet, stretch the front of the body. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog, stretch all the way back, breathing here. Keeping the arms and ears in line. Gaze toward your feet, maybe your knees. Traditional gaze is at the navel, but it can sometimes aggravate the neck. Up to you though. Look forward, bend the knees, step or hop your feet up. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold, hips over heels if your legs are straight. Then inhale, press through the feet to rise all the way up. And exhale to Samastitihi, hands at heart center. Inhale again, circle the arms up. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips to fold. And inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, step or float back, chaturanga. So if you float back, land with bent elbows. Inhale, pressing up, up dog or cobra, your choice always. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Keep the low belly pulled in, draw the front ribs in, and keep stretching back. Let's take the feet as wide as the mat and maybe stretch back a little bit more if you can. Get into the hamstrings a little more deeply that way. And then walk the hands all the way back to the feet, taking ourselves into malasana. Make sure your knees and middle toes track. So if you need to turn your toes out for that to do that, then do. Some people can do it with feet straight ahead and parallel. I got to turn my toes out. Bothers your knees, don't go down quite so low. Hands together in front of the heart. Let the tailbone just drop down and be heavy, but lift the chest. And then we'll walk ourselves back out into down dog. Look forward, either step or hop your feet up. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down through the feet, stretching tall. Exhale to Samastitihi. Back into your Tadasana. And again, inhale. This time we'll bend the knees into Utkatasana to chair pose. Exhale, belly to thighs, straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, step or float back into chaturanga. Inhale to press up through the hands and feet. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, shoulders over wrists and step it right in the middle of the hands. Stand the ball of your back foot. Inhale, crescent lunge, high lunge. Bend the back knee, drop the tailbone down, then straighten it. Make sure the right knee stays over the ankle and pull the front ribs in as the back ribs lift. Stretch up through arrow straight arms. Then exhale, arms to a T, turning to your right. So right arm back, left arm forward. Now take right hand to the back leg, reach up through the left arm, stretching the front of the body, but keep the belly and ribs in. It's a little back bend, and then exhale to bring the hands down. Make your way to down dog through chaturanga or not. Inhaling up dog, exhale back into downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale from the inner thigh, lift it. As you exhale, lightly step it up, stand the ball of your back foot, and come on up into crescent pose, high lunge. Bend your right knee a moment so you can drop the tailbone, lift the hip points up, and then straighten it. Inhale, arms up. Spin the triceps forward. Pull the ribs and belly and make sure that left knee stays over the ankle. And then arms to a T. Left arm back, right arm forward to twist. Reaching out through the arms, widen across the collarbones. You can stay with that, or left hand to right leg, reaching up through the right arm for a little back bend. So as you're back bending, make sure you don't have compression in your low back. If you do, don't go so deeply. Exhale, hands to the mat. Chaturanga, make your way to down dog. Through a vinyasa, inhale, up dog. This is the vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Or you can skip the vinyasas and go right into down dog, your choice. Breathing here, always returning our attention to the breath. And now look up, bend the knees, step or hop your feet up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Weight is in the heels, and Samasthiti. Turn to the long side of the mat. Step your feet out nice and wide. Turn your right leg all the way up, back toes in a little bit. Line up front heel and back arch. Inhale your arms to a T, and as you exhale, bend the right knee over the ankle, warrior two. Gazing over the right fingertips. Lift the chest, allow the shoulder blades to release. Keep the back inner thigh lifted. And then drop the left arm, reverse. This is a side stretch, not a back bend. Keep reversing, straighten your right leg, reverse triangle pose. Inhale, come up, arms up to a T. Hinge from your front hip crease. Reach out and down, right hand to the floor or shin or block. Left arm up. Try and get your shoulders to line up with each other. Reach the crown of the head forward and then look up. If it bothers the neck, look forward or down instead. Try to keep creating length through the torso. And then reaching your left arm overhead, sweep it down and take it behind you to the low back, or if you can hook it onto the right leg, hold the right leg. Roll the shoulder back. Keep pressing into the base, the big toe of your right leg. And then take your left hand behind your back, interlacing the fingers and extending the arms straight back, continuing to widen the collarbones if you can. This can be a little tricky. Let's release it. Inhale, come on up, and we'll do the other side. Left leg out, back toes in, heel to arch, first with warrior two. Lift the chest, let the shoulder blades release. Make sure that left knee stays over the ankle. And now drop the right arm to reverse and bend into your left leg a little bit. Now straighten it, side stretch. And inhale for Trikonasana. Come on up, heel to arch still. May shorten your stance if you like. Lean as far forward as you can. Take your left hand down to the shin or the foot or the floor or a block. So extending through the torso. Reach up through the top arm. Shoulders are in line with each other. Press firmly into the base of the big toe of your left foot. The left leg is straight but not locked. You don't want to lock the knee. Exhale, reaching the right arm forward and then sweep it down. Bring it behind you to the low back or hook it onto your left thigh. Keep extending crown of the head forward, then looking up unless it hurts it. You can always look down. You can stay right with this. Or take the hand behind you to interlace and extend the knuckles toward the front of the mat. So you're widening across the collarbone, shoulder blades are moving closer together. And then look down, inhale, come on up. Bring your feet to parallel, toes will point in just a little, and then point them out. Start to bend the knees for this high squat. So we still want the knees and toes to track. So drop your tailbone down, press your knees back, and then reach both arms up. And then bending your bending the right arm Take your left arm out to the side and bring it behind. Roll your left shoulder back. Reach your right arm up nice and tall, spinning the right tricep forward. Continue to drop down through the tailbone. Keep bending the knees and then pressing the knees back. It's a good shoulder stretch. Then arms out, reach them up again. Keep the knees bent. We'll do the other side. Bending the left arm, left hand toward the upper back, right arm out to the right. Clasp hands or hold on to your shirt or use a strap. And as you reach up through the left arm, you're going to spin the left tricep forward and then roll your right shoulder back. Continue to drop down in your high squats. Keep the hip bones lifting toward the lower ribs. Press the knees back. All right, hands to hips. We'll straighten those legs slowly. Heel toe or hop the feet together and back to the front of the mat, back into Tadasana. Find your steady balance here. It's a good grounding pose. Inhale, reach the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. And exhale, step back into plank and hold here, then lower chaturanga all the way to the floor. Knees can come down. Arms by your sides. We're setting up for Shalabhasana. Tailbone's going to reach toward the heels. Inhale, lift everything up. Keep the back of the neck long. Press the pubic bone down and pull the belly up. You can stay there or bend the knees. Take the pinky toe sides of the feet. And then inhale, lift them up and press the feet back. Keep the belly lifted. Taking another breath here. And then lower it down and rest. We're going to take half frog. So left forearm parallel with the front of the mat. The right hand comes to the right foot. Bring it forward any amount. I've got my palm on the top of my foot. You don't have to do that. You can hold on to the foot. If you're bringing it forward, the heel's just to the outside of the hip, maybe a little. And then we'll switch. Left knee bends, reaching for the left foot from the pinky toe side, and then maybe you'll face that elbow up as your fingertips face down. And the heel is just a little bit to the outside of the hip. We don't want to hurt the knee. Pull the belly in, of course, tailbone's lengthening. We want to feel this stretch in the front of the leg. And then let's release. Hands by lower back. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, stretch all the way back. Check in with your breathing. Make sure it's steady. And now we'll come on to our knees. Sitting on a block, if you are actually taking blocks to the outsides of the ankles if you have them. We're going to do Ustrasana camel pose. First with the hands at the lower back. So you want the tailbone to lengthen down and the hip bones to lift up. So as I lean back, I'm also gently pressing forward, but my inner thighs are spinning back like I'm holding a block. Widen across the collarbones and then squeeze the legs to come up. So you can, if you've got a block, you can hold it between the inner thighs to see what it feels like. It's a good little teaching tool. So we'll go deeper if you like, or keep the hands at the lower back and stay there. If you want to reach back for the blocks, same idea. Once you have those blocks, then you're going to start to gently press yourself forward, tailbone down, hip bones up, and the shoulder blades, just where that block was in the beginning of class, those are moving in that direction toward the chest. Squeeze the legs, inhale to come up. So you could stay with that. If you want to take it deeper, you can move those blocks out of the way or keep your hands again at the lower back. Squeeze a block between the inner thighs if that's something that it's always helpful, I think. So start to lean back, taking your variation of Ustrasana. So imagine there's a string attached to your chest and it's getting pulled straight up. Let the head go back any amount and breathe into the chest. Tailbone's still lengthening down. And then squeezing the block. Inhale, come up both shoulders at the same time. We always want to come up both shoulders at the same time. Then you'll sit your hips between the heels, or you can sit your hips on a block if they don't really reach between the heels. And this is Virasana. You can stay in Virasana on the block or hips on the floor, or you'll lean back into Supta Virasana. If you're in Supta Virasana, it wants you to lengthen your tailbone toward the backs of the knees so that you have a little less of a low back arch. So back really wants to arch. So try and lift the hip bones toward the lower ribs and lengthen tailbone. And I'm just holding onto my opposite elbows. For me, this is comfortable. It wasn't for a long time. So if it's not comfortable for you, if it hurts your knees, then don't go back so far. You can just sit up on a block instead. Wherever you are, just breathe with it. And then if you're all the way down, come on up. I'm going to bring the hands in front and step or float back through Chaturanga. Then inhale, stretching the front of the body. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, I'm going to bring it through for Pigeon, Rajakapotasana pose. Now the hips should be level here. If you're rolling onto your right hip, put something under it. If it bothers the knee, instead lay on your back, thread the needle. Or another hip opener if you know another one you like. Make sure the left leg is extended straight back. Inhale, create some length here. Exhale, stay or come forward. So yeah, if your right hip's rolling down, you could put a block under there or a rolled up blanket or a towel. And then as you're here, just allow yourself to try and sink in as best you can. Sometimes this can be a really uncomfortable position. So if it is, just try and relax as much as you can. Inhale your head up, and then we're going to reach for your back foot. So like we did earlier in that frog pose, you can hold it, or maybe you'll bring it a little bit further forward. Now hips and shoulders, we're trying to square up toward the front if possible. If you've got a strap, grab it, loop it around your back foot. I've got the infinity strap, but you can always just make a regular loop. And then start to bring it forward. It's super easy with the infinity strap to reach the arms up and over into the full Ekapada Rajakapotasana pose. So my triceps are spinning forward, elbows are up. And again, I'm trying to keep the hips and shoulders facing the front of the mat. Steady breath. And then we'll release it. Okay, another thing you can do is you can do this in a lunge. If that other pose hurts your knee, you could do the same thing in a lunge. And then let's make our way to down dog any way you like. Through a vinyasa or right back into it. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring it through for pigeon pose. Make sure you have nice level hips. Good. So if you're rolling off to that left hip, put something under it. If this hurts your knee, come onto your back instead. Thread the needle or another hip opener. Otherwise, get comfy. Allow yourself to release any stress, any tension around the neck and the jaw. And if it's a big sensation in the hip, imagine that you're breathing right into that left hip. And as you're breathing, it's just letting it release and ungrip. So inhale, come up, bending the right knee, reaching back for it on the big toe side. You can also bring it forward with your hand on top of the foot. And if you have a strap handy, you'll loop your strap, put it on the foot, bring it forward, or bring your elbow to face the front and point up, and then the other hand can reach back for that strap as well. Triceps spin forward, elbows are up straight toward the ceiling, and keep your ribs and your belly pulling in. Try and face your torso to the front of the mat, looking up gently if it's okay on your neck. And then we'll release it. And again, if it doesn't work that way, you can always do the same thing in a low lunge. It's actually, I think, a little more difficult, maybe a lot more difficult to do in the low lunge. And then you'll pad up that back knee if it needs any padding. All right, let's make our way to down dog. Either through Vinyasa, Chaturanga, exhale, inhaling upward facing dog, and exhale back into down dog. Stretching back, creating length. Now walk your hands and feet toward each other, and let's hang. Feet are hips width apart. Grab your opposite elbows and gently rock here side to side. Let your neck be heavy, or your head heavy, your neck long. And looking forward, walk yourself into downward facing dog again. Look forward, step or hop through, and take a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall, hands by hips, pull the toes back, flexing the ankles, Dandasana. Then inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, hinge from the hips forward. Inhale, lengthen out the spine. Now you can use your strap here around your feet. So hold the strap. You can stay upright to keep the spine long. If you can keep the spine long, come forward, then do that. But try not to round the back. The shoulders release away from the ears. Crown of the head will reach forward. And long, smooth breaths. And then inhale, lift the head, and exhale, we'll release. Bend the right knee, right sole of the foot on the floor, right hand behind. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, take it across and twist. As you inhale, create length through the spine. As you exhale, roll the right shoulder back. Make sure that your left toes are pulling back. A lot of times we forget about the left foot. Inhale, bring the head to center. Exhale, release. Straighten out your right leg, and now bend your left. Left sole of the foot on the floor, left hand behind. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, and twist it. And again, inhale to lengthen, sitting nice and tall. As you exhale, roll the left shoulder back, twisting. And that right arm can stay up or down, whatever you like. You can wrap it around if you know how to wrap. Make sure the right toes are pulling back and the right toes are pointed straight up to the ceiling. So that right leg stays active. Every inhale, create length. Bring the head to center and unwind. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to roll onto our backs. If your back bothers you at all, put your hands down and lay right down. Otherwise, come down slowly using the belly muscles until we find ourselves all the way into Shavasana. So tailbone's going to lengthen. Make sure the shoulder blades are drawn away from the ears. Arms out to the sides. Let your feet flap open. Close your eyes and completely relax. Natural breathing now. And as you're resting, a quote today is a poem by T.S. Eliot, or part of it. I said to my soul, be still and wait without hope, for hope would be hope of the wrong thing. Wait without love, for love would be love of the wrong thing. Yet there is faith, but the faith and the love are all in the waiting. Wait without thought, for you are not ready for thought. So the darkness shall be the light, and the stillness the dancing. Start to take some breaths that are just a little bit longer. Start to move your hands and your feet. Stretch out through your arms and your legs, a long stretch. And bend the knees, roll yourself off to your right. Just pausing a moment for gratitude for all of our blessings. And then make your way up to seated. And sit up nice and tall and bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let's bring our hands up to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications, sending out wonderful energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today, and push the like button if you liked our class and share it with your friends. And thank you so much for subscribing and joining our yoga community. I love to get your comments. I love our yoga community. Go to fightmasteryoga.com and you can join us with our daily yoga practice on days that are not Mondays. And although the Monday class is up there too. And if you can afford to support us at all, there is a link below for donations or on the Fightmaster Yoga website. There's also an Amazon link on our website homepage. If you shop at Amazon and go through that link, it's another way to support us. I thank you so much, and I have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.